Hey, so today I wanted to talk to you quickly about how can you prioritize your work, your features, the new items that you want to add in your roadmap, and actually justify them to your management team, to whoever is going to be actually reviewing your product. So you make sure that you have done your work and that they understand that the features that you're building are actually going to have an impact on the customers. So one of the important things to do when you are prioritizing, and one of the things that management is going to expect from you is that you are able to justify why should you be investing your time on developing certain features. What is the goal of this? Of course, business management, they want to actually deliver or create a business around a product. They want to make sure that this is a profitable business that is growing, that in the future is reaching out new customers. This is something that you have to pay attention to. How can you justify that whenever you're building a feature is actually potentially reaching out to new customers or actually is bringing a lot of value to existing customers? So how you are preventing churn meaning that you are not losing customers, or the measurement or the ratio that you're losing customers at. How you're going to do this? Well, there's going to be different ways of measuring impact. You might be able to measure the amount of sales that you're going to do. So this could be just the number of sales. It could be actually a revenue value, a potential sales value, how much euros or many euros or how many dollars we are going to be making just because of developing this new feature. It can also be a measure of retention. How many or what is the percentage of my current customer base that are going to be taking advantage of this feature and that they're going to be able to use it and get value from this feature. And it might be a combination of both. Sometimes some frameworks, they're looking at the number of users that I think that I'm going to be reaching out to. This is going to be important that you understand this, and potentially if you can put a measure, monetary value or some kind of a scale that is going to help you understand that this has a low impact, maybe revenue-wise, or a high impact revenue-wise. It might be that in some cases it's going to be difficult to estimate this potential revenue. The other side of prioritizing is that you actually have to be able to understand how much effort is going to be to develop a certain feature. Because products grow and every time they get more complex, adding new features can be more and more costly. This is something that you had to take into account to understand how much effort is going to take me to actually go and implement this new feature. You can talk here with your R&D, with your engineering team, the development team that is going to be able to understand to a certain degree, of course, how long it's going to take for them to implement a certain new feature. This is going to then help you to understand what is the potential value of this feature and how long it's going to take me. Because it's not the same that you give a feature with very high value that is going to take you 1 year to develop versus another feature that might take you, or maybe not have such as a high value, let's call it medium value, but I'm going to be able to develop it in 1 month. Obviously, there might be reasons why to go for one or the other, and might be reasons why sometimes you had to go for the long term. But in many cases, it might be more interesting to take the one that you can develop quickly and get value out of it. Of course, there's another thing that you have to do when you are estimating is that you have to be able to compare to your strategy. What are your strategic areas? What are your strategic goals that are going to help you move towards that vision that you want to achieve? Why this is important is that because every idea in a way is like a vector. It takes you so far, like let's say how many customers you could get, the impact that you're going to create in the business, but it also points in a certain direction. It might be that in a moment you might want to be going towards, let's say, companies like Tesla. I know that I put this example very often, but Tesla is creating EVs. It might be for them easier to create ICE vehicles, but that, even if that will have a very high impact on the business, potentially that's pointing in the other direction of where they want to go. So this is something that you also have to understand. Does an idea align or not with my strategy, with my company or product goals? And why all this is important, in the end, is that management wants to make sure that we are prioritizing features that are going to bring an impact on the revenue and an impact on the customers. This is what they are going to care about. They want to make sure that potentially we are giving value to our existing customers, but also that potentially we are growing and expanding into new market areas. this is going to be what they're looking for. If you put this work there, you can rationalize why you have chosen some features, and maybe you have down not prioritized highly on other features that maybe might sound very important. Why also this is important is that many times people tend to talk when they're prioritizing about the things that they have heard most recently, and not necessarily about the ones that are bringing the most value to the customers and the business. So in order to make sure that you do this, you should establish some kind of framework that is going to help you prioritize, gather all your ideas, give them some kind of estimate of what the impact is and the effort is, so you can then actually go and prioritize them. This is going to be, as I said, an estimate. There's no realistic way of saying that this is really going to bring this much value or is going to affect this many customers, because realistically, there's always some kind of uncertainty there. There are many frameworks that you can use actually to define this process, and that are going to help you to make sure that you pay attention to this. Something like impact versus effort matrix, or value versus effort matrix, is one of probably the simplest way of doing this, and a framework that I actually really like because it's relatively easy to implement. Also, the RISE framework is going to help you to actually be able to prioritize. It goes a little bit more in depth. It also looks into things like how many customers you potentially are going to reach out to, and even things like a degree of confidence, how confident I am on my estimations. So these two are some examples, and I'm going to link some videos that I have here that you can go and check them out if you are interested in taking a look what these frameworks are. So how about you? How are you prioritizing? What's the way that you are doing it? Are you using some of these frameworks? Do you have some kind of a, let's say, framework that is going to help you prioritize? Or are you just prioritizing as you go? Let us know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, stay safe.